Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for continuing along on this journey with me. Today's topic might seem a little left field, but I do believe it is a symptom of our struggles here in America. And I mean, the world in general, but really specifically here in America, and that is the de-colorization of our environment. We have seen a rise in colors of cars being muted neutrals, grays, silvers, blacks, whatever. Our homes are being built now to be model homes, to be, friendly for the next buyer. It's very weird to me, but they are all very much the same grays, the same flooring, the same, features, the same fixtures. It's all very cookie cutter. Our art is now considered modern art, which is pretty much lines of color. And I shouldn't even say color because I do not consider, blacks, whites, grays as color, even though there are colors, but you get what I'm saying. I'm talking like color. So today's art is modern art, which is basic shapes, basic lines in neutral colors. I think that's a huge problem. Let's just start by talking art for a moment and how art is supposed to be something that evokes emotion, something that evokes thought, that challenges you, that creates something in you. Our artwork used to be, political statements. It used to be representations of, the society around them. And so when you look at how art is now these, basic squares of color, what does that say about our society, right? There is this sameness that is being pushed by I don't even know what you would say, by our system, that I think is a huge problem. So, sameness, by the way, is kind of what socialists and communists all push for, right? Everybody wants to have the same things, the same, rights, whatever. Hunger Games, right? They all wear the same outfits, they all have the same colors. It's all very much a deadening of the senses. And it's really sad for me. So one of the things that I struggle with is architecture and how all things in the last 10, 15 years look the same. A school could be built in Liberty Lake and it would look just like a school in Spokane. It would look just like a school in Moses Lake. Now, I guess if our goal is to mass produce and again create sameness, sure. But why aren't schools being built to fit their demographics? Why aren't new schools being built to blend in with their environments, the landscape of the area, the traditions of the school? Why is there no individuality, no uniqueness to our architecture? I really struggle watching new builds where I could walk into pretty much any house built in the last 10, 20 years and know exactly how it's going to be laid out, know exactly the colors it's going to be, know exactly the fixtures it's going to have. And it doesn't matter if it's in Hangman Valley, if it's in 9 Mile, if it's in Spokane, they're all the same. And it's so everybody likes it, so that when you get ready to sell it, you're not offending potential buyers. When did our own ownership of items become about being appeasing to other people? Owning a car used to be about you'd buy a car in your favorite color. You would buy a car and you would decorate it. You would do things. And I'm not saying like decorate like stickers and stuff, but, let's look at older vehicles and all the different colors that they came in and all the add-ons you could get and all the fun things you could do to them. And now every car is the same. Every car, if you look at Toyotas to Hondas to Fords, other than the grill, you could not tell the difference between a Hyundai to a Lexus. back in the day, you used to be able to know, right? Certain cars would look certain ways so that you understood the personality of the person, right? Like, oh, you would get a sports car because you were somebody who liked to go fast, who liked to have fun. Now, if you get a sports car, people are like, wait, is that a sports car or is that a sedan? There's no differentiating between those things. Color and art and architecture all used to lend itself to individuality, uniqueness, creativity, beauty, and we don't have that anymore. So car manufacturers have stated that the majority of their models now are coming in neutral colors. I've touched on houses. Almost every house is like a gray neutral background. That is apparently the new color, right? Everything's got to be gray, and it's got to be the same vinyl laminate, and it's got to be the same blah blah blah. And I think that is a symptom, a sign of our government, our societies trying to dumb us down and trying to eliminate any of those outliers, those, the creativity, the ones that would challenge things and speak up. I believe that by taking away and eliminating the colors, it is on purpose. I do believe that along with the socialist and communist governments, it is part of making everybody the same so that nobody aspires to be anything different, so that nobody feels left out, nobody feels challenged by anything. Just the idea that homes are supposed to stay neutral for the next buyer when this is supposed to be your home, right? The biggest reflection of who you are inside. And we're starting off with, how do we appeal to the mass? Like that is weird to me, that new builds are all the same formula. They're all the same layout. They're all the same materials. That should be a red flag for a society. We used to see, even like, I would take having a random stucco house with a brick house with a 2-door, like, that at least created some feelings. It creates some, thoughts in you. It evokes an emotion, right? To see these different things. And even if you don't agree with it, you're actively thinking about it, right? So one of the examples I wanted to touch on was an influencer that moved out to my neighborhood where we were all on acreage. My home is one of the oldest homes, and there are obviously newer homes being built around. And this influencer moved out here, and they built a ginormous McPenitentiary is what I'm calling it. It's like a McMansion and a penitentiary. It has the same rectangle, very boxy shape as the schools. It's white in an environment with greens and browns. It stands out like a sore thumb. It's very basic lines, very basic, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a very basic style. There's no style to it at all, really. You could not tell anything about this family, about the location, from looking at this home. As far as I know, everybody up on this hill is not a fan of it. I have met one person who is a fan of it, and it is a California transplant. So that should tell you something. If you follow her, because she is an influencer and she posts her Amazon shopping list and all of that, it is all the same. It is all very mass-produced, basic colors. There is no personality, no individuality. It's all very much cookie cutter, okay? And one of the things that she posted was her living room, sitting room, and the biggest piece of art she has, and I'm not even kidding here, people, is a giant black square. Okay? Now, growing up, I feel like we could all walk into a home and we would be able to recognize a Thomas Kincaid, an Andy Warhol. Like, we had things that we knew, and people might have similar ones, right? But you would see different things in different people's homes, right? You would see different themes, different colors. You would have, the outdoorsy North Idaho types would have deer scenes and outdoorsy stuff. And I've got one that I had bought my ex-husband that was called Leap of Faith. And I cannot remember the artist's name, but it's literally this long, skinny painting of two rock cliff sides with a mountain goat jumping over, right? That did something for people, right? Like, you understood what he was implying with his artwork. It created a feeling inside you. It showed, oh my gosh, it represented something about the family that was in it, right? You obviously could take away that maybe we liked outdoors, that we liked hunting, that we believed in taking leaps of faith, right? It spoke to who we were as a family. Now, modern art today is basic lines in neutral colors. And it's very impersonal. It's very bland. I don't know what feelings or thoughts it's supposed to evoke other than this is your basic model home, display, which model homes were meant to be a blank canvas for you to be able to imagine your own color, your own art, your own style in, right? It was not meant to be the style. like that is not supposed to be a theme. That is not supposed to be a decorative approach. Like, I want my home to look like a model home. Give me all the same basic fixtures as this house next door. Give me all the same basic artwork as this house down the road. Give me all the same basic colors and lines as everybody else. Okay? I just really want you guys to think about that model homes were supposed to be a blank canvas so that every other person could envision their own style in it, right? The fact that we are now using that as a decorative style should be a red flag to society, okay? We have proven that art inspires, encourages, and challenges. Art is supposed to be something that not everybody likes. Color and homes and cars are not supposed to be something that Joe Schmo could walk into and feel at home in, right? Like, my home should represent my style, my color. And whether or not you think that clutter or whatever is a style, there is no way you don't walk into my home and know something about us, right? So an example of that is our neighbor and her giant home, right? Versus a friend who has a home. When you walk in, it is a riot of color. It is a riot of different materials and different styles of things. And there is a story happening when you walk into this home where you can see their kids and you can see their experiences and you can feel what they feel. I love it. It is one of the most comfortable. It just makes you feel warm and invited in it. It lends itself to, I think, more comfort than if you were to walk into a home like the influencers on the hill, where you would feel like, I can't touch anything, I can't do anything, I don't want to mess up anything, right? Like, it's not yours to live in. When you look at this influencer's house online, you cannot tell there are children in the house. You cannot tell what their hobbies are. I couldn't even tell you what her favorite color is other than maybe white. I think that's sad. If you have that much money and your biggest piece of artwork in your house is not a Van Gogh or, an Andy Warhol or a Thomas Kincaid or whatever, it's a giant black square. What does that say about your family? What is that representing to the world? I don't know. I don't know. Nothing to me. Okay, it means nothing because it's nothing. It's nothing. There's nothing there that evokes any kind of emotion or knowledge or, what I'm saying. It's very weird to me that we have moved from a world where when TVs first came out and everything was black and white, and directors and set designers and all of these people were like trying their best to create contrast with what they could, right? And if you think about movies like Wizard of Oz and how it goes from very neutrals and very bland and very basic, like everybody acknowledges that shift from when she lands in Oz and that color pops. That's what we would all prefer, right? Nobody wants to go back to Oz or back to Kansas with the browns and the grays and the blah, right? We all understand the psychology of why that color pop is so amazing. And yet here we are as a society going exactly the other direction, right? Where all of our schools are the same. A school in Liberty Lake looks the same as a school in Spokane, looks the same as a school in Moses Lake. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it's at, what the demographic is, what the landscape is like. They're all the same. And they're all becoming more and more square, regimented, built like prisons. The fact that you can take a new prison and a new elementary school and put them together and the floor plans are almost the same, the color schemes are almost the same, it's like they're the same thing, that should be a red flag for your society, okay? When people talk about dystopian novels and red flags for future, they like to talk about 1984 or Fahrenheit 451, but I would like to bring up The Giver. The Giver's plot is sameness. Sameness is celebrated, right? The same color hair, the same color wardrobe, the same color house. Everybody's the same. And it becomes a crime to have color. Because color does what? Evokes emotion. It challenges, the status quo. We have seen this many times in societies where they are trying to control their population, where those are like the first things to go, right? And again, with the architecture, we used to have columns and turrets, and we used to have embellishments, and we used to have carvings and different material, and now it's all the same, like metals and woods, and it's so run of the mill that you have no feelings about it, which is not what it's supposed to be. So in The Giver, once the kid gets assigned that role and he starts getting the human experience downloaded, he comes to the same realization that sameness is not to be celebrated, right? That we should have art and we should have beauty and we should have character and individuality. That becomes a crime. That's where we're at. Society has been slowly draining us of color, slowly draining us of beauty, slowly draining us of any kind of individuality and uniqueness. So we talk about color and how different colors evoke different emotions. They have done so many studies on how bedrooms should not be painted red. Like, we know this, bedrooms should not be painted red, right? We know because of science that blues, greens, yellows tend to be better colors, right? Blue is about calmness. Then you've got green, which is known for enhancing memory and focus. You've got yellow, which is happiness. Now, obviously, people have their own favorite colors, and that's all going to change. But generally speaking, through science studies, these colors all tend to lend themselves to different traits that they evoke. And so you talk about the schools becoming these box cutter buildings that have no personality. There's, no texture to them. And then they're all being done in these whites and grays when white is proven to be a very sterile, stress-inducing color. And we're also seeing this rise of autism and ADHD where kids can't focus, where kids are stressed out and angry and not participating, and they're not, there's no real desire to do anything with themselves. And yet, if we know that white is a hospital color, why are our schools in that? Why aren't we painting our schools blues and greens and yellows? If we know that those colors will lend themselves to better students, better people, we should be doing that, but we don't. Why? Because our government is not wanting to create that. They want us to be stressed. They want us to be anxious. They want us to be alone. Okay? Artwork is something that, and I do consider this all art, okay? Artwork is supposed to be something outside of you, right? A representation of your insides. And so when you think about that, and when you think about how art is now basic lines, boring colors, sameness, right? Funnel you into your little lines, keep you from asking questions, keep you from challenging the narrative, right? I firmly believe that that is a sign of a declining society. So back in the day, right, we could distinguish different artists, we could pick different things out. We all had these goals that we wanted to have for our homes, right? And now if you were to ask a kid or even a young adult who their favorite artist is or what art would they want for their home, what would they say? Could they even name an artist? Could they even tell you what their favorite artwork is? Could they tell you a picture that they wanted? I don't have a name for, I don't know who drew it. I could probably look it up, but how they signed their name was cursive. I can't read it, but I'm going to tell you my favorite piece of art that I've seen was at my ex's parents' house, and it was this giant flower pot, but it was bold, thick colors, and it just evoked life. Like you just looked at it and you saw life. Now versus a giant black square on the wall, like a black hole. You're talking like darkness, despair. That's what you want greeting people when they walk into your house. That's the vibe that you're trying to put out there, is blackness. I don't understand it. Okay. You know, one of the things that I was looking at when I was kind of researching this to learn about the color and the theory of color and all of that is when you start to see the lack of color, the lack of different, oh my gosh, what is that called? The different types of art, right? Where you had oil, where you had charcoal, you had, you know, water-based painting, whatever it was, you had all these different avenues of art. Once they all kind of start being the same, that is society's stagnation, right? You're losing the creativeness that leads to innovations, to, you know, bigger and better things. And I think that's on purpose. I think they're trying to derail that. I think they want us just so head down into our own world that nothing anymore really catches our attention. Nothing really anymore inspires us. You know what I'm saying? You look at movies, and Napoleon is one that comes up a lot when you're doing this color theory research, because the set designer for that, the costumes were so rich in color. If you look at a still being from like the filming versus the actual film, night and day difference. And I mean that almost literally. The outfits in Napoleon are vibrant reds and greens and blues, and you can see the texture of the clothing and the, you know, the carvings of the furniture and the desk. And then the movie itself is gray. It's gray. There's nothing in it that differentiates it from any other movie. I think that's a huge problem. We fought so hard. There were so many you know, technological advances that allowed us to bring color to the masses. We wanted color TVs. It was exciting to see things in color, to know what people look like in color, to know, you know, Lucy had red hair or whatever it was, to now go all the way back to black and white. That should be a red flag. That is a problem with society. So I really would like you to think about that when you think about what a healthy creative society looks like versus a society that wants to keep you in line. Color is a way to do it. We know colors have an effect on us. We know art is supposed to have an effect on us. Why is it not now? Why are we going back to the days of blacks, whites, grays? Why is that the push for every architecture? There used to be like, okay, Frank Lloyd Wright. He was known because of his unique style, right? The way he would blend, modern glass, but it would fit in its environment. He would build around rock, out. He would build, around rock and add in trees, and he would work with the environment that he was in, right? Where now it's just, again, the same flat box everywhere. To see river homes being built that are just pretty much, train cars with windows. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened? We're not carving things anymore out of wood. We're not doing granite anymore. We're not doing any of these neat materials. It's all becoming very mass produced, easy to produce, vinyl type furnishings, I miss that. I miss that you used to be able to, like, Baroque style art. Oh, I just love it. Like, if you look at Baroque art, which I could be saying that wrong, there is such a difference between that environment and that mindset and the emotional intelligence and whatever versus who is an even artist today? Who is an artist today that anybody could name that is challenging things, that is out there creating art for the masses? There's nobody. And I do mean, I Googled it. Who is the top selling artist today? Painter, creator, sculptor. There's nobody. There's no Frida Kahlo. There's no Pablo. There's no Van Gogh that anybody is trying to collect, right? It's all like Walmart, mass-produced, basic art. You don't even know artist names now. Can anybody even name me an artist right now, an up-and-coming artist that's creating these amazing works, that has like a new style or a new technique, or is, what I'm saying? It's all from back in the day because there's nothing now. Andy Warhol at least had color. He was doing something different, right? He made you feel things when you looked at him. I miss that. And I think society is losing out by going this direction. And now, again, one of my biggest things is to fight that, to bring it back, to bring back color. I want ornate. I want elaborate. I want to be able to see, personality when I walk in a home where I know something about your family and what you like to do and who you are when I go into your home. I don't want to walk into your home and know that you shopped the entire line of Pottery Barn or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? The Friends episode where I actually think it is Pottery Barn, the apothecary table, right? And how Phoebe is so against the industrialized mass production of furniture, and what ends up happening, right? Ross, Rachel, everybody ends up with the same furniture. They're not the same people. You get me? They don't like the same things. They have different goals. Rachel, being in fashion, she should have been, her home should have been a representation of that, right? It should have been full of color and texture and vibrancy, where Ross, being a professor, they would make sense for him to have very streamlined minimalism type things, right? Where now almost everything is this minimalism modern art, and that is not how it should be. I am not the same as you. You are not the same as me. We should not have the same basic home, right? So I really do struggle with this idea of the de-colorization. You'd look at old school cars and you could see a difference in the models, right? So like Chevys looked different than Fords, looked different than Buicks, right? And they all had different features and wings and grooves. And now you could go to a parking lot and a Hyundai sitting next to a Ford, sitting next to a Mazda, sitting next to an Acura, all the same. They're not the same. One is supposedly a higher end brand, one is supposedly more, rugged, but they all look the same. Why? What is the point if you're going to be driving a Lexus, which used to be a status symbol and used to have very specific lines, it had a very specific body style? Why is it that now that looks like your basic run-of-the-mill Hyundai, right? They're getting away from it. Same thing with like trucks, trucks used to be able, you could tell, like this square body used to be this, and this kind of, door frame used to be this, and now they're all the same. They all look like they took the same, they tweaked it a little bit, they rounded this corner out, which, by the way, what happened to different lines? Why isn't anything square anymore? The new Corvette is probably my favorite car because instantly you are looking at a fucking fast, fun car. Instantly, it's like a Batmobile. They stand out, they pop. I don't care what color it is, and I love that so many are coming out like the reds and stuff, but and it evokes something in people, right? Versus if you were to look at who's another really fast car. I don't even know who would be a fast car. The Subaru WRX or the Nissan, whatever. They all look the same. Corvette has a very distinguishable body. A Corvette, right? A Ferrari, a Lamborghini, whatever, right? They stand out. They have a vibe. Jaguars, I feel like, are still one where you're like looking at it and you're like, ooh, what is that, right? Other than the grill on most cars, how many videos do you see nowadays with people getting in the wrong car because they all look the same? Would that have ever happened back in our day, growing up? Would we have ever mistook somebody else's car for our own? Because none of them look the same. You could get so many different packages, so many different accessories. You could do so many different things to them that individualized them, made them your own. But now it's like, I have to look. My daughter has a Ford Escape, and it's blue, and it looks like every other blue Ford Escape. So, it's like you see a car and you can't tell that that's your person's car, right? You have to like check and see like, oh, what's the license plate? Oh, what is this? To know if it's your person, right? Where, again, back in the day, you would see a certain car and you'd be like, oh my God, that's my friend. Because it was their car. It looked different than somebody else's version of that car. Where did that go? Why did it go away? Why is it when you can drive into a new neighborhood now and have to have, like, my girlfriend lives in a subdivision, and the only way you can really tell her car apart or her house apart from anybody else's house is because of the thing on her porch. Okay? So your house is exactly the same as this house, as this house, as this house. And so there's no, there's nothing that makes it stand out. And I do believe that is firmly on purpose so that we all are the same. A stagnant society with no creative thought, with nobody challenging anything, with nobody being inspired by anything. It's a very weird place to be. And 10 years ago, nobody would have been okay with this. But we have been so dumbed down and so pushed into these boxes, it's weird to me, okay? Where having colored walls to list your home is a red flag. Like they have to spell it out like, oh, this home has custom colors because they're unique colors. Because my ex and I wanted a home. We wanted to feel like we were somewhere else, right? So we have green. We have a green wall, and that is custom color. A basic green wall is now a custom color, even though it's still considered a neutral. I mean, because we wanted a tropical kind of vibe that we were comfortable in. Green should not be a custom color. That should not be something that a realtor comes in and tells us needs to go to sell our home. Okay, it's such a weird thing now where having any kind of unique personalization in my own home is not allowed. If I'm not allowed to have color, have different materials, if I'm not allowed to have unique things in my home, or that's not an option if I were to build a new home, that should be a red flag to society. Why are all architects the same now? I'm pretty sure these two newest homes on our road are completely different architects, builders, whatever, and they are exactly the same. The same colors, the same roof lines, the same layouts. It's mind-boggling to me that you could not go out and say, oh, the Paris home looks like I don't even know who another builder is around here, but they all are the same. It's a red flag. It's another part of the parcel that America is trying to make us numb, dumb us down, and just shut off our brains and our emotions. I really firmly believe that. And so that's my topic today. Go add some color. Add some color to your world. Add some personality to your world. Stop buying things that are basic, neutral things that will appease the masses. You are not the masses. You are a person with your own experiences, your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your personal items should represent that. If you go to any store right now, it's all the same vibes, same color schemes. It's so hard to find unique things that fit. One thing that I really try to use social media for is finding those artists, finding those architectures, finding those architects that will step outside of the norm now. I really believe that we need to fight to bring back color and enrichment and actually take into consideration the environment that we're building it in. A Liberty Lake school should be more rustic. It should be more laid back. It should be more nature focused than, say, a downtown city school. They should not all look the same. That makes no sense. That is my 2 cents on that. I really firmly believe that you should challenge this idea that we should all be the same, that everything needs to be neutral, that everything needs to not offend, because life is supposed to offend and challenge and inspire and grow. And we're not doing that anymore. We are a stagnant society that is living in a world of grays. At what point did that become acceptable? At what point did we all think that that was going to be a good thing for our children's development? That a kid's room can't have clutter. That teenagers can't put posters on their wall. Oh my God, the amount of kids that I know that say, I can't get a poster because I can't hang that up. I ran the book fair for years and years and years, and it slowly changed where parents were like, no, you can't have that up on your walls. I don't want you putting holes in the wall with thumbtacks to hang your posters. Are you kidding me? If you look at a 90s kid's bedroom with like all of our different artists and all of our different movie paraphernalia, it had personality. We got to showcase who we were. Kids are not allowed to do that. Kids have to have their Pottery Barn model set bedrooms now, where all the toys have to be put away and you can't have anything hung up on the walls and nothing on your desk and nothing on your end table. Like, what are we doing? But then we wonder why kids aren't focused, don't care about anything, have no drive. Why should they? What is inspiring them? What is getting them out of their bubble? Where do they get to push back and be themselves? I have let my kids paint their own bedrooms so many times, and yeah, it looks ghetto to some people. I am sure that I let them hang up their posters and all their pictures, and it's clutter and it's chaos, but it's them. Their rooms do not look the same. They look like them. So if you're a parent and you are a Pottery Barn parent, I feel like you should be ashamed of yourself. Because are you telling me your kid is just like the kid next door, like the kid across the state? No. Where is your kid getting to show themselves, to learn about themselves? Where are they getting to have their own voice, if not for our bedrooms, our homes, our vehicles? They're not. And then we wonder why they're in their phones doing nothing. I miss that for kids today, that they are not going to get to experience that. The majority, especially here in Liberty Lake, where image is everything, but apparently everybody's image is the same. Like, there is a Liberty Lake mom epidemic where like, it's probably going to be a blonde with a bun, a messy updo, yoga pants, and a golf cart. Like, that is what a Liberty Lake mom is. If anybody knows, like, you can go anywhere outside of Liberty Lake, and it's like you see this certain type of person, and you're like, oh, that's a Legacy Ridge mom. Because they look like that. They all look the same. They all show up the same. They all have the same hair, the same nails, the same fake boobs, which is also another conversation for later. It's all the same. It's like they all were mass produced, and they all have the same kids' bedrooms, and they all have the same furniture, and all their kids are the same. Every girl looks the same. Same haircut, same style. You know what I'm saying? It's so weird that you can look at a group of girls and be like, oh, which one's which? Like, oh, they all have the same haircut. They all have the same style. They're all wearing the same dress. That is a red flag. That is, I think, a huge sign of society's downfall. So I want to bring back color. I want to bring back textures and materials. I want to bring back things that make you want to touch them and engage with them. I want to support local artists who are doing things in different mediums. That's what it's called, a medium. I want different mediums. I don't just want the same produced print for everybody, where you can go to every model home by every stupid builder and know exactly what you're walking into, exactly the colors you're going to get, the same floor plan. It's so boring. It's so blah. It used to be people's nightmares. The Stepford Wives. This used to be a horror movie concept. And now we're aspiring to that. That's our goal. Like, you've made it when you've made enough money to buy a house that looks like your neighbor's house, to buy the same car that your neighbor has in the same color. Blech. That's gross. Okay? So bring back color, bring back texture, bring back individuality, bring back uniqueness. Let's go. Please stop decolorizing America. Please stop being on board with mass-produced cookie cutter products. Find local artists. Find things that are unique to you. Bring those into your home. Let your kids decorate their own space. Let them pick their colors. Even if you don't like it. Even if you think it's stupid. Let them do it. Let them find their own way. Let them learn. Let them experiment. That is what life is supposed to be. It's supposed to be chaotic and different for each of us. We are not supposed to all have the same experience. That's what I'm saying. We will get into the other things, like the toxicity of, whatever. But I just really wanted to touch on that, because I really do believe that is a huge red flag for our society, and we need to push back. And it starts with the people who are building. It starts with the people who are buying the cars right now. Now, I cannot afford to do a new car, but I will tell you, one of the first things I will do when I get money is I am painting my silver car so that it does not look like every other car on the road. I want to bring back chameleon colored paints. I want to bring back glitter. I want to bring back all the things that, we love about old cars. Classic cars are such a fascination now, because you get to see people's style show up in their items. Again, if you were to go through a Yokes parking lot right now, what could you tell me about anybody in that parking lot? Nothing. There's nothing to tell, because they're all the same. It's all the same style, all the same colors, all the same features. It's very, very, I don't know. It's very much the same. Everybody's the same. And I know people are not the same. Nobody has style. Our girls, our youth today have very little style, right? We all know the look, right? We've got like the short crop tops, the baggy jeans. It's all the same. There's no way that every girl, every junior woman, right? Junior adult has the same style, but they don't know what their style is because there's no options for that. Every store has the same things. Every line is the same. Me and my friends were never the same. We never had the same clothes. We never had the same hairstyles. Our rooms all looked completely different, but ourselves. You knew if you were like wearing something that I would wear, or whatever. Like, people would know that about you. Where is that today? If you have teenagers, what is their style? Every boy looks the same. T-shirt and shorts, t-shirt and shorts, t-shirt and shorts. We joke about the dad uniform, right? Baseball cap, t-shirt, cargo shorts. Why? What happened to men that actually wore like belts or polos and jeans and different styled shoes? What happened to girls that would dress fancier or nicer or more casual? Like, it's all the same. So we're all losing that. We're all losing that spark that made America so great, right? Where we were all allowed to express ourselves and be ourselves and have the ability to find those things that represented that. And it's disappearing. And we should be worried about that. So that is my 2 cents. Bring back color, bring back art, bring back texture, bring back style, bring back beauty. Beauty. Nobody will walk into a model home and say, God, this home is so beautiful. Nobody does that, right? Like, oh yes, the same cabinets that this house had, the same fixtures that this house had. Like, where is the ornate? Where's the elaborate? Where's the fun? Where's the personality? Bring it back. Don't get pushed into a pigeonhole, into the same funnel as everybody else, because we're not the same as everybody else. There we go. That's my 2 cents. All right. Hope you all have an amazing day. Check back here next week. We'll see what we talk about then. All right. Bye.